Guillermo RigondeauX going hard, actively pursuing top fighter VASYL Lomachenko. Stay tuned. Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. One. What does Lomachenko have to do to get pound for pound?
You said you can't fight that caliber opponent. You ain't fought that caliber opponent yet. You gotta fight those kind of guys and beat those kind of guys and show us and show us that you can do those things against those caliber of guys to be number one pound for pound. He hasn't had the opportunity because he hasn't fought those caliber guys. But like I always tell people, when you really look at it, you saw one of the pound for pound guys. Now he got a bad situation tonight. Should have been called a no contest. But you saw RigondeauX fight tonight, right? RigondeauX 122, Lomachenko was 126. They both got 2 gold medals. Why we never put them in front of each other? Why? Why didn't we? Then we found out some stuff. You feel me? Yeah. I don't like stuff like that. That's what's wrong with boxing, but I'm coming.
What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button and also hit the subscribe button. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, hit that bell icon. Now, 2017 has been serving us up with some real deal good 50-50 fights. And fights that we didn't know if they would come true because of certain politics or whatever, and they are, like Canelo Golovkin, and we're getting that. Now, a fight that I've been wanting to see for quite some time, that it started to seem more and more unrealistic and less likely because the guys were moving in two different ways, 2 different directions, and that's RigondeauX versus VASYL Lomachenko. Lomachenko had jumped up, plunged up, and knocked out champion Rocky Martinez, and then RigondeauX kind of stayed there. But there's a war brewing, and it's been going on for a while. This is Guillermo Rigondeaux's verified page, and he's kicking it off. He says, "You can call me whatever you want, but I fight anyone. It is them that keep running from me, wussies," right? And he's talking he's in his bag right now. He did a poll. Whoops. What fight would you rather watch? Loma versus Alito at 130 or RigondeauX versus Loma? So, just to give you guys a backstory. At first, RigondeauX, who fights at 122, he was saying that he'll fight. He's been saying this, but I was at his last roundtable for it because he fought on the Ward Kovalev 2 card, and on that card he had a media roundtable, and I was live streaming all kinds of stuff. He kept calling out Lomachenko. He says he's a good fighter. Let's fight him. You see him. He continued on to his social media. So it's not like Twitter fingers. He's actually doing it in front of cameras because I got it. I have the footage and I uploaded it. And if you guys follow my channel and really check my videos out like that, you'll see them. And he says, is Alito versus Lomachenko still on? Because I haven't received an offer to fight at 126. So he says, I'll move up to 126. You have to move back a couple of pounds if you want to make this mega fight, right? And we'll get to everything. According to them, quote, no champion wants to fight Lomachenko. I want to meet Lomachenko halfway at 126, and I am a champion. And then he quoted it. There's a bunch of options. You see that no champions want to fight Lomachenko. So he said that. And he works with a couple people, and they make these little comics. And he said, Bob knows allowing his baby to play with me is very dangerous. Come on, Bob, let the guy fight and stop being so protective. He is a grown man. And it's like some kind of meme with baby Lomachenko and Aram. And he's like, son, this is much easy to play with, and you will look good doing so. And he's like, but Dad, I want a very expensive toy to play with, like a PS4. Wow. He dared me. What a bunch of sissies. At 126, I am basically giving away pounds. No nuts or no balls or whatever. Then, wow, they're going in. It says, Bob is protecting him. Rigo Loma 2017 at 126. Let's make history for the fans. This can be the year of Ward Kovalev, Canelo Triple G, and Rigo Loma. And it said, to the people of Ukraine, I am sorry. I can't guarantee our current president will protect Lomachenko from RigondeauX. And then someone with the Ukraine flag, they're like, uh-oh. Wow. So he's going ham, right? he goes on, show me the money. Like, he's like, yeah, I mean, of course. See, and the people like, oh, see, he's in it for money. He still has to scrap, whether he, you know what I'm saying? Like, people, you want him to do it for free. So I understand that. That's simple business and politics. Like, I'll tell you guys straight up, it don't make no sense to be doing whatever you're doing. Like, let's say you're a rapper. It don't make no type of sense to be no rapper and you ain't making no ends, like, after a certain period of time. Like, these guys are prize fighters. They risk their lives. Of course they're gonna try to make money. But see, the thing is, like, you come to Boxing Ego, the real side, and I'm gonna tell you what it is and give you my honest opinions on different things. A lot of people try to brush stuff under the rug, and the bottom line I've seen in boxing, and I've seen it for years, especially since I started going hard and covering and growing the brand. But when there's a fighter that's popular, or a fighter that's getting praise, or just a good fighter or whatever, like let's say Canelo Alvarez, when there's a certified threat in his division who's calling them out, the diehard Canelo fan, not just regular Canelo, I'm talking about the radical fans of any fighter. So for this example, we use Canelo. What they'll do is tell you every reason under the sun why Canelo does not need to fight this person, like Erislandy Lara. Some of you guys don't know shit about boxing, so you don't really know that Lara, he did fight Canelo, but obviously you see why they don't want to give him a rematch, because he has a tricky style, and some people thought Lara beat him. You know what I mean? They don't want to deal with Lara's running, or whatever you want to call it, him using movement and boxing smart. They can't just blow him out of the water and knock him out like they did James Kirkland in 3 rounds or whatever, right? You have to work. You have to work for that. And even when it's all said and done, you might still, in the eyes of the public, people might think you lost. But using this Canelo example, is the fans, the radical ones, they'll come out of the woodwork and say all these reasons why, oh, Lara can't sell, he's a paper champion, or this and that. And it's just a million reasons. But that's a good fight, especially at the time. It's a good fight, right? Why not? Why not fight? Same thing with Rigondeaux Lomachenko. Oh, Rigondeaux doesn't deserve it. Rigondeaux is boring. It's not about that. It's about the best fighting the best. And see, this is the thing. I'll be at the fights. I'm everywhere. You ain't never there. Like, all these dudes, they be like, oh, Rigondeaux can't sell. He won't do this. And I was at Rigondeaux's last fight. The weigh-in, he got a fair response. You know what I mean? People were cheering. He had a cool response. And he's from Cuba, which is a place where you can't even turn pro as a pro boxer. You know what I'm saying? So they have to defect and come here and make their money. So they don't even have the same, like, people, they don't have a country behind them like Canelo does, right? Where if you're in Mexico and you're a Canelo fan, let's say you're from Guadalajara, it's good. You can watch boxing freely and openly and stuff like that, but there's different rules in different places. So you might have to watch, if you're a huge Rigondeaux fan, you might have to watch him from afar and different stuff. They like internet and TV, that's not a guarantee over there in Cuba, stuff like that. So bottom line is, people make excuses, and that's what it is. I talked to Roy Jones even after the fight, after Ward Kovalev. The video's up. I'll probably try to put the clip at the end of this video so you guys can see. And he himself said, all-time great fighter, Hall of Famer. So you're just biased. Okay, so why is he saying that? He works for HBO. I don't work for HBO, but he does. You know what I mean? And he said Lomachenko ain't pound for pound. Andre Ward is. He's like, you can't trump him when he has a better resume, basically. He's done more. Super 6, you can't just move him out of the way. And see, the haters get mad. Like, they mad because, like, before, they were happy when Andre Ward was inactive. I'm telling you, those people, the people who call him Andre Coward and Andre Board and all this extra stuff, and Dirty Ward, Low Blow, Nutcracker, all that dumb shit, right? They were happy. They were satisfied when he was dealing with his problems outside of the ring, because they know what quality of fighter he is inside the ring, and whether you like his style or not, he's very hard to beat, right? And now they're mad because they have to resort to, oh, his low blows, that wasn't a real, you know what I mean? They have to find any way they can to try to shit on the win because he's back active. He fought 3 times last year, and then he already came back this year and fought in a rematch that some people said he wouldn't take, he would retire. So you can no longer say, oh, he's inactive, coward, and all this stuff like that, because he just stopped the man that was supposed to be the boogeyman in his division that allegedly beat him in the first time. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they do. They like prey on your downfall. If your favorite fighter is threatened instead of being just a pure boxing fan, and like you want to compare styles, but Lomachenko's more offensive, he's offensive. Guess what? Tell him to do what Floyd and Pacquiao did, and I guarantee you that offense is going to look different. If he moves up to 147, like Manny Pacquiao, who started off at a lower weight than Lomachenko, right? And Floyd Mayweather, who started off at a lower weight than Lomachenko, then guess what? You're going to have to make some adjustments, because that jumping in on people and this and that, and people who you breaking them down the way, it's not necessarily going to work. You know what I mean? So let's get back to Rigondeaux. The bottom line is people are going to find, if people want to protect Loma, and I'm not saying even his team, I'm just talking about like fans. What they do is they get in the comment section, they find ways to try to protect him by not having to fight. Oh, Rigondeaux, he's boring. He's boring because that's what people are telling you, like Aram and HBO. I never had a problem with watching Rigondeaux fights, but again, I embrace boxing in general. You know what I mean? I could watch a technician like Rigondeaux and marvel at what he's doing in there, right? And I can also watch a guy like Ruslan Provodnikov, which is almost the polar opposite. Just a super gutsy guy who's gonna get mauled and beat up and have cuts and be pissing blood and just come forward. I can appreciate all that, everything in between too. Now, Rigondeaux said, my manager have just informed me that if they want 130 pounds, we must make the sacrifice. Lomachenko, I'm ready. Now show me the money. He's on his Cuba Gooding Jr. Show me the money. He said he'll go up to 130, man. I've always been respectful. If they duck me this time, expect me. He misspelled expert me, but he expect me to be very plain. Loma Rigo 130. So, you know what I mean? There's nothing else. Like 50 Cent said, you gotta do something, baby. 130, he said he's gonna do the 130. Even Shakur Stevens, shout out to the boy. Shout out to Newark. Hopefully Rigondeaux and Lomachenko fight. That'll be one of the biggest fights in boxing. Rigondeaux says he'll fight at 130, period. You know what I mean? Roy Jones, the video's up, and like I said, I'll try to put it at the end of this. Roy Jones said it himself too. He's like Lomachenko, I love Lomachenko, but he can't be pound for pound #1 until he beats those caliber guys. Pensacola, right? Roy Jones said that. And then he also said, he's like, you put Lomachenko in there with Rigondeaux, okay, now that tell me something. He's like, that will show me something. That will prove something. Now we're talking. And Roy hit the nail on the head. Pause. That's what it's about. That's why I want to see this fight. This is a good fight. So again, if he's willing to come up to 130, the two heads need to collide, pause, and try to work this out. You know what I mean? And don't offer him peanuts, offer him something realistic, because this would, like, see, and this is the thing, I like Lomachenko. I told some of y'all about Lomachenko before High Tech and Matrix and all this extra stuff that HBO's been pushing. Check the videos. I don't have to do it, but go to my YouTube and type in VASYL Lomachenko and Boxing Ego, those 2 words, or 3 words technically, into the search, and you'll pull up everything. I did videos saying Lomachenko is showing me shades of Willie Pep and Floyd Mayweather, because I see, and Pacquiao, and I was talking about how he looks like multiple different great legendary fighters with his style. Like, he kind of jumps in like Pacquiao, but he has a better upper body movement, and certain things remind me of Roy Jones. You know what I mean? Go check those videos out. I was telling, this was well before ESPN was doing lists and HBO was saying he was #1. This was well before. So at the end of the day, I like Lomachenko. I like Rigondeaux. That's why I want to see them fight, because there ain't no I don't tuck my tail. If it's a good fight for boxing and it'll show me something, like Roy Jones said, let's see it. Let's have at it. And to me, this will prove something. And to Lomachenko's side, this is what you need. This is what Lomachenko needs, because he can fight Jason Sosa, who lost, in my opinion, he literally lost to Nicholas Walters, and they said it was a draw. It wasn't no draw. He lost, but whatever. That's what the judges had it, or whatever. But that doesn't prove nothing to me, because Jason Sosa, I think he might even had a loss before that. You know what I'm saying? So that was a good win. Lomachenko did his thing. He looked spectacular, but it's not the same. And see, look, Lomachenko says who wants next and stuff like that. Rigondeaux saying he wants next. So this should be a shoe-in. And I'm gonna say it's gonna look bad if Lomachenko goes to 35. I know he was talking about it before, but he hasn't made that move. And you got a guy, because the bottom line is Lomachenko looks pretty big. I said that even at featherweight. Go listen to some of those old videos. He looks pretty big. Like I see the picture next to Crawford. He's smaller than Crawford, but if Crawford's next to Rigondeaux, Rigondeaux's gonna look tiny. So if Lomachenko makes the plunge to 35, that fight's done for, because that wouldn't even be fair for Rigondeaux. I think 130 would be difficult because Rigondeaux's tiny. He's been knocked down at smaller weights. So, you know what I mean, 130's pushing it. I really think Rigondeaux could be fighting similar weights to Chocolatito. I definitely think he can make 118. So him going up 130 would be based on skill, kind of like past greats, Pacquiao, Mayweather and stuff, where they could fight bigger guys and bigger competition based on skill. Like, you know what I mean? Some of the people that Rigondeaux has faced, they don't even look like they're in the same weight class. Like the last guy he fought, Moises Chucky Flores, he looked like they were in 2 different weight classes. It looked like he was like, you know what I mean, like an 8th grader and a 5th grader. In terms of size, they look way different. Same thing with Rigondeaux versus a Magasov, who was actually a division up and came down to fight Rigondeaux for the opportunity. So it'll be interesting to see what Igis, Klimas, and Lomachenko does, but I think they should definitely really look at this, because there's nobody in the 120s that's going to give you the recognition that you'll get from beating Rigondeaux from true boxing fans. I don't know about the fake fans and people who make excuses to why the fight shouldn't happen, but the real fans, if Lomachenko can beat Rigondeaux, these are some of the best amateurs, arguably 2 of the best amateurs that have ever like fought in the amateur circuit. So if they can collide, this is something they should really be pursuing, because now it's like 2 gold medalists, two-time gold medalists, and it's kind of for all the marbles. Who's the best pro out of this illustrious amateur program? So he's saying he's coming up to, he can come up to 130. We'll make the sacrifice. Props to Rigondeaux for that. Lomachenko, you got to do something, baby. He says ready to go battle again. Still waiting for the date of my next fight. Next, he put that June 9th. I would look into that Rigondeaux situation. Let me know who wins. Let me know if you think Lomachenko's team will try it. But I gotta say this, man. Like on my channel, I give it to you guys real. And I honestly think Lomachenko is a very good fighter, very quality fighter. And see, this is the thing. Some people, oh, you're biased. But listen to the people who say the exact opposite of everything I say. Listen to their videos or channels or whatever you want to call it, their articles, and they don't give they don't give, if they say the opposite of me, like I'm telling you both sides. I'm telling you Lomachenko is a beast. I'm telling you Rigondeaux's a beast. But listen to them, and only Kovalev's a beast. Everything they say about Ward is negative. Everything they say about Rigondeaux is negative. He's boring, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll say something. I tell you both sides. I tell you Lomachenko is nothing to play with. He's a good fighter, right? But what I've noticed is I think his management, they overvalue him based on not his skill, but in terms of his popularity. They're making it like he's some massive draw, massive A-side. You know what I mean? They did this with Nicholas Walters when they were negotiating over the summer. They're like, oh, Lomachenko gets, let's say 850,000 and you get 500,000. And he's like, nah, I want a little bit more money. You know what I mean? They could easily take that down, take 100,000 off of Lomachenko's thing and then put it to Walters, and then that'd be like 600,000 versus 700,000 or something, you know what I mean, to make the split fair. Because if you look at it previously, they had similar numbers on HBO. Like if you look at their numbers, their viewership numbers, they weren't drastically, it wasn't like every single time Lomachenko was doing 1.4 million and Nicholas Walters was doing 400,000. Plus Nicholas Walters had a good resume. He beat Donaire, Vic Darchinyan, Jason Sosa, in my opinion, beat him, stuff like that. But what they did is they made it like Lomachenko's just such this massive A-side because he is talented, and you can't confuse the two. There's a lot of people that are talented, but they don't, like, for example, my dude, I tell you guys all the time, Terrence Crawford is a beast in terms of skill, you know what I'm saying? And he seems like a good person. But Broner's, he's more popular. Broner makes more money. Broner has bigger events. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's what, you can't confuse skill and talent with actual popularity, because it doesn't always. People look at Floyd. People say Floyd's boring, yet he's outselling everybody in boxing. So you know what I'm saying? It doesn't always go hand in hand. So Lomachenko, he's a very good fighter, but that doesn't mean he's this A-side. Like Canelo is a good fighter, and he's clearly the A-side over anyone not named Floyd Mayweather that I've seen. I mean, I can't think of a name that would be the A-side over him other than Floyd. You know what I mean? Golovkin's not, who's another good fight. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. And then they starved Nicholas Walters out, and then the negotiation fell apart. They went another direction, and then later come back after Nicholas Walters had got no other fights and was on the sideline for over a year since the Jason Sosa fight to Lomachenko. And then he came back, and he was probably willing to take whatever offer that they offered him at that time. But in the summer, when they initially negotiated, he was trying to get more money because, you know what I mean, it wasn't as far in between his fights. Let's say it was like 5-6 months in between his fights, and then Top Rank offered him nothing else. He had no other fights. He has to make a living. I'm sure he has bills and stuff. You guys try being laid off from your job for a year. Let's say you work construction, and then that money starts burning out, then you have to do something to make money. So he probably just took it. But I hope they don't do that with Rigondeaux. You know what I mean? Like, just offer him some stuff just to say that they tried to negotiate. Really offer him something substantial, because he's a 2-time gold medalist just like you. He has a win that some would even argue is more impressive than anything on Lomachenko's early career. Lomachenko has less than 10 fights, and Rigondeaux had just over 10 fights, maybe 11 to 13 fights, and he beat a guy who hadn't lost in 11 years, who was HBO's cash cow, Nonito Donaire, who was clearly bigger than him. Gary Russell Jr. didn't look clearly bigger than Lomachenko to me at the time when they fought. Stuff like that. So hopefully it's just everything's on the up and up, and it's fair, and they can get this cracking like Roy Jones. Why didn't we ever see this fight? Why? Let me know what you think. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.